This video will present topics of murder, violence, and death. It is thus unsuitable for all audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
Saint Stanislaus, also known as Stanislaus of Czechpanów or Stanislaus Czechpanowski, was a Polish-born bishop around 1030 in Czechpanów, near Krakow. He is one of the most prominent saints in Polish history and a significant figure in the Catholic Church. Here's a brief biography about Saint Stanislaus. Stanislaus was born into a noble family and received a solid education. He studied at the cathedral school near Znau, the capital of Poland at the time. After completing his education, Stanislaus was ordained as a priest and soon became known for his piety, eloquence, and commitment to justice. In 1072, Stanislaus was appointed as the Bishop of Krakow, one of the most important ecclesiastical positions in Poland at the time. He served in this role for 12 years. Stanislaus is best known for his conflict with King Boleslaw II, also known as Boleslaw the Bold or Boleslaw the Generous. The exact reasons for their conflicts are not entirely clear, but it is believed that Stanislaus criticized the king's unjust practices, including acts of cruelty and oppression. The conflict between Stanislaus and King Boleslaw II escalated to a point where Stanislaus was excommunicated the king for his crimes. This act was considered unprecedented at the time, and as it challenged the authority of the monarch. In retaliation for his excommunication, King Boleslaw II ordered the soldiers to kill Stanislaus while he was celebrating Mass at the Church of St. Michael the Archangel in Skolka, near Krakow in 1079. This act of violence against a bishop shocked the Polish society and led to severe consequences for Boleslaw II. Stanislaus was soon venerated as a martyr, and his cult grew rapidly. He was canonized by Pope Innocent IV as a saint in 1253, making him one of the first Polish saints. Saint Stanislaus became a symbol of moral integrity, justice, and resistance against tyranny in Poland. His feast day is celebrated on April 11th. He is the patron saint of Poland, Krakow, moral order, and against the unjust use of power. Stanislaus' story was inspiration for numerous works of art, literature, and music in Poland and beyond. He remains an important figure in Polish national consciousness, often invoked in times of political and moral crises. Saint Stanislaus is remembered not only for his martyrdom, but also his unwavering commitment to justice and righteousness, making him an enduring symbol of courage and moral integrity in Polish history. Saint Stanislaus is associated with several miracles, both during his lifetime and posthumously. While specific details of his miracles may vary in different accounts, here is a brief description of some of the most well-known ones. One of the most famous miracles attributed to Saint Stanislaus occurred during his lifetime. According to legend, a man named Peter sought refuge in Stanislaus Cathedral after committing a crime. Peter's pursuers followed him into the church and demanded that Stanislaus turn him over. Stanislaus refused, and in a bold act of faith, he prayed over Peter's lifeless body, bringing him back to life. This miraculous resurrection astounded the onlookers and solidified Stanislaus' reputation as a holy man. Healing the sick is another miracle that Stanislaus is said to have possessed. Numerous accounts attested to his ability to cure the sick and afflicted through his prayers and intercession. People from all walks of life sought his gift and help, and many claimed to have been miraculously healed of various ailments after seeking his intercession. Stanislaus is also credited with protecting his devotees from harm. There are accounts of individuals who escaped perilous situations, such as accidents or attacks, after invoking Stanislaus' name or seeking his intercession. These instances are often interpreted as miraculous interventions by the saint to safeguard his followers. After notable miracles, another notable miracle associated with Saint Stanislaus involves the restoration of sight of the blind. It is said that individuals who are blind or visually impaired experience miraculous healings after praying to Saint Stanislaus or visiting his shrine. These miraculous healings were regarded as signs of the saint's intercessory power and divine favor. Finally, like many saints, Stanislaus is believed to have cured lepers through his prayers and touch. Leprosy was a dreaded disease in medieval times, and those afflicted with it were often ostracized from society. The healing of lepers by Stanislaus was seen as a testament to his holiness and compassion for the marginalized and suffering. These miracles, along with others attributed to Saint Stanislaus, contributed to his reputation as a powerful intercessor and saintly figure in the eyes of the faithful. They continue to inspire devotion and reverence among believers who seek his assistance in time of need. Saint Stanislaus is depicted in various forms of iconography, each emphasizing different aspects of his life and martyrdom. Here's a brief summary of the common elements found in St. Stanislaus' iconography. St. Stanislaus is almost always depicted wearing an attire of a bishop, which is typically includes a long, flowing robe, often shades of red or purple, a mitre, bishop's hat, and a crozier, a bishop's staff. This attire symbolizes his role as a bishop of Krakow. Many icons of St. Stanislaus depict the scene of his martyrdom, which is one of the most significant events associated with him. In these depictions, he is often shown at the altar celebrating Mass, with soldiers or executioners approaching him. Sometimes he is shown kneeling in prayer or with his hands raised in supplication as he faces his attackers. In martyrdom scenes, the weapons used to kill Saint Stanislaus are often depicted nearby. This may include a sword, spear, or other implementations of execution, symbolizing the violent nature of his death. As with most saints, Saint Stanislaus is typically depicted with a halo surrounding his head, representing his holiness and status as a saint recognized by the Church. Some icons of Saint Stanislaus include scenes depicting the miracles attributed to him, such as the raising from the dead, healing the sick, or performing acts of charity. These scenes serve to highlight his holiness and divine favor. Saint Stanislaus is often associated with the city of Krakow, where he served as a bishop. Therefore, some icons may include symbols of the city, such as Wawel Cathedral or the Krakow skyline, as a way of identifying him with his home city. In some depictions, Saint Stanislaus is shown with a lamb, symbolizing his gentleness, innocence, and sacrificial nature. The imagery draws parallels between Stanislaus and Jesus Christ, who is often referred to as the Lamb of God in Christian theology. Finally, in addition to the scenes of martyrdom, Saint Stanislaus is sometimes depicted in a prayerful posture, either kneeling in prayer or with his hands clasped in devotion. This emphasizes his deep spirituality and devotion to God. These elements combined to create a visual representation of Saint Stanislaus that emphasizes his role as a bishop, his martyrdom, his miracles, and his spiritual significance within the Catholic Church, particularly in Poland. The process of sainthood, known as canonization, typically involves several stages that can take many years or even centuries to complete. The canonization process for Saint Stanislaus involves the following steps described briefly here. After Saint Stanislaus' passing in 1079, he was immediately venerated by the people of Krakow and the surrounding regions as a martyr and a saint. Local cults and venerations often develop around individuals believed to have lived holy lives or performed miraculous deeds. Formal investigations into the life, virtues, and purported miracles of Stanislaus likely began shortly after his passing. Church officials, including bishops and clergy, would have interviewed witnesses, collected testimonies, and gathered evidence to support his cause for canonization. The process of canonization requires approval from the Pope, who has the authority to declare someone as a saint. In the case of Stanislaus, his cause for canonization would have been submitted to the Holy See in Rome for review and approval by the reigning Pope. The beatification process is the next step in the canonization and involves the declaration by the Pope that the individual is blessed and worthy of veneration within a limited context, such as a particular region or religious order. Stanislaus was beatified by Pope Innocent IV in 1253, recognizing his holiness and the local cult of veneration surrounding him. After beatification, devotion to the blessed Stanislaus continued to grow, and more miracles were attributed to his intercession. The Church continued to collect the evidence of his sanctity and the efficacy of his intercession through miracles and answered prayers. Canonization is the final step in the process of sainthood, in which the Pope formally declares the individuals to be a saint and worthy of veneration by the Universal Church. Stanislaus was canonized by Pope Innocent IV in 1253, approximately 74 years after his passing. This official declaration confirmed his status as a saint recognized by the Catholic Church. After canonization, Saint Stanislaus was honored throughout Poland and beyond as a patron saint and a model of Christian virtue and martyrdom. His feast day is celebrated on April 11th, the anniversary of his martyrdom.